Now, good morning, everybody, and welcome to White Plains City School District Reopening Committee for Wednesday, the 19th of May. First and foremost, and I know everybody on the committee joins me in thanking the White Plains City School District and White Plains community for the overwhelming support of our budget. Yesterday, the budget was approved with 88% of the vote affirming the budget, which really is just so amazing and wonderful, and just a huge thank you to everybody in White Plains for supporting our children. Also, a tremendous thank you and congratulations to our Board of Education members. We had 3 incumbent Board of Education members running and one other additional candidate running. All ran a very nice campaign, all did very well at the polls. Jim Ricca, Rose Lovich, and Kane Letizia were re-elected to the Board of Education, and congratulations to Ms. Rada Catavan for a great race and a really strong showing. So congratulations to all, and thank you to all for helping us and supporting us and being part of the process. This budget, as you know, is going to help carry us into the 2021-2022 academic year in a very, very strong position. I'm going to parlay from budget to talking to you about a new responsibility that the White Plains City School District Reopening Committee is now going to have. And it's an important one, but we, in contemplating and considering the requirements, we think this group is best positioned to take on this responsibility. So school districts are going to be required to have stakeholder committees participate in the process of thinking about and making recommendations to their boards of education with regard to how to allocate the American Recovery Plan monies and the additional, and the CARE Act 2 monies, right? Those are both one-time only dollar infusions, and moving forward with the addition of foundation aid for the White Plains City School District over the next 3 years as well. So I hope that you will take us up on this offer to be the stakeholder committee that considers, in addition to a couple other people who are going to ask to join up, who considers these recommendations. You folks have been involved in this process since day one. And know everything, all of the ins and outs of the reopening, of all the challenges that we've experienced, of what the planning that was required and what we need to move forward. So this seems like a very, very natural and committed stakeholder group to call upon to help us in this next step as we move into the next academic year. We have to move fast, as always. State and federal guidelines don't come with a grace period. And all school districts are required to post their plans. And this is not a comprehensive, this is a targeted plan for the use of these resources by July 1, which is pretty much tomorrow. Another reason why this stakeholder committee, I think, is really well positioned to be able to take on this task. So I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands if you won't do it. But I'm going to assume that you'll all participate. Won't take long, won't take a lot of your time. We're going to come to you with recommendations, but certainly you can think about things to offer as well. I'm going to send a meeting invitation out to the committee for probably at some point in time the week after next, the week after the holiday weekend, to meet, and even if you can only call in, that's fine. But that way we can all consider what the recommendations are. The other thing that I'm going to do is email you our initial recommendations prior to the meeting, so you can think on them before we actually get together, in case you have any reservations. Now, I'll be very candid with you and to everybody who's watching this. We already have the recommendations in place, and you've even heard of them. We went back to our master plan. We're looking at the top tier item, which is HVAC, which also translates into air conditioning to the entire district. That's going to be our #1 recommendation, and that's going to encompass the one-time only funds. The second part of our recommendation is going to be to go back to the master plan, the long range plan, and look at the positions that we held off on over the last 2 years and talk about additional PPS support positions that are sustainable so that we can meet the needs of our children as we enter into the 2021-2022 academic year. What's really important to note, and everybody who's watching, this will have no additional tax impact. Any of the things that we do, any of the recommendations that we're making will all be done in a way in which can already be supported through the funds that are allocated by the government. Now, remember, if we don't use the funds, we lose the funds. So making this investment into the school district, I think will go a long way over the course of strengthening us, not just next year, but into the future. So we'll share those recommendations with the committee. We'll come back, we'll record it so that everybody can see that as well. And then following that meeting, we'll make the however it comes out from the committee, we'll bring it to the Board of Education, and the Board of Education will consider the recommendations, and we should be in very good position come July 1st. Any question? I know that was kind of a lot, sorry, 9:30. Any questions on that or the process? Cool, okay. Oh, Karen McCorkline. Good morning.
Hi there, thank you. So I just wanted to comment on your statement about looking at increasing PPS staffing. For everyone on the committee, we know that the pandemic has magnified the need for PPS. We also know that pre-pandemic, the needs of our students were increasing. Can you hear me now? Okay, I just wanted to comment on the PPS piece. I'm glad to hear that that's a priority. We know that the pandemic has illuminated and some of the needs that students had before and has contributed to student needs. So I'm really happy to hear that. And I just wanted the committee to know that before the pandemic, we were advocating for more PPS staff members. It's great to hear that we're going to have that opportunity, and that I think come September, we're going to still see a greater need as time moves forward. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kara. Really appreciate that. Any other questions or comments or concerns? Okay, I only have a couple of more items and then we'll move right into a very brief committee report. So that's probably good news for you today. Guidance, changing guidance from the CDC and from the New York State Department of Health. Lots of questions swirling around out there. Unfortunately, lots of misinformation, miscommunication. Let's take it right back to the CDC. The CDC has made guidance or has promulgated guidance that allows changes to facial covering recommendations based upon individual vaccination. Great. That has nothing to do with schools. CDC has since that initial announcement been clear that in that announcement, in that promulgation of guidance, they were not talking about schools right now. Okay, so that's CDC. New York State Department of Health. New York State Department of Health today, I believe, is the day that there are changes related to the CDC guidance about facial coverings outdoors for individuals who are vaccinated. Again, New York State Department of Health has not made any changes to masks or facial coverings in school settings. It's important to note that while our faculty and staff members, many of them are vaccinated, our children, as you know, many of them are not, particularly at the lower grade levels, of course, because they've not had access to vaccine yet. So for questions lingering out there as to whether or not everybody can take their masks off in schools today, the answer is no. Nothing has changed with regard to the mitigation guidelines in schools today. If there is a change, we will definitely bring that to everybody, but I know that there was some confusion out there. I know that's not good news for some folks. They want to be able to remove the facial coverings. That day will come. There's no doubt about it. That day will come. There's no doubt about the day will come when folks will be able to make a decision. Some people will continue to wear facial coverings, and that's fine. Some people will take them off the first day they can, and that's fine too. But right now in schools, there is no change to the guidance. Remember, we're seeing really great progress over the last few weeks. We've had a far, far, far reduced number of identified cases of COVID-19 coming into our schools. That's great. We're seeing far fewer numbers in the county right now. It all tracks right. I would predict that as we get into the summer months, we'll continue to see those numbers going down, and that's all good news. That's all predicated on the hard work that folks have already done, on the influence of the vaccines in the population, as well as the change of the seasons, I would imagine. So all good stuff, everything's moving in the right direction. But for the next couple of weeks, as schools are winding down, there has not been a change in that guidance yet. End of the year activities, everything's going great. People are working really hard to get exciting things happening for our Tigers. We've already had some really cool events. Kudos to the team at the high school for junior prom. I know that was a super fun event, and just great stuff happening. So folks, I'm sure we'll touch on that, but all of that is in the works. Cohorting and mixing of cohorting, particularly at lunchtime at the elementary school level. This is something that we're looking at right now. Maggie can talk a little bit about this, I know, and we're working through the logistics of how that looks. But yes, all of those things are falling into place. Yes, students will be able to mix on the playground. All of these good things are happening. So that is all great news. That's the end of my update. So what I always like to do is just come over to Dr. Longobardi and see if there's anything from the medical field, Doc, that we need to be aware of.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yes, a couple things. I just wanted to thank Dr. Ricca for clarifying the CDC guidance. It does get confusing when you hear one thing and then you think we're all taking off our masks, and that's not the case. Particularly important to me and to all of us are the kids that are not vaccinated. So when I heard that CDC roll that out, eyebrows went up and I thought about all the kids that are not yet able to get vaccinated. But the good news is about 600,000 12 to 15-year-olds in our country have been vaccinated in this past week. So that is very exciting. And the last part, I just wanted to mention another issue that may be unclear to people. The American Academy of Pediatrics has said it is okay to vaccinate with the COVID vaccine and any other vaccine. This has been coming up because our kids who are going to college are getting vaccines, our 16-year-olds are getting vaccines, and now some of our 12 to 15-year-olds. However, the CDC, the New York State Department of Health, nothing has really changed there that we can see. So although they said this is okay, we're still following the wait 2 weeks before and after until people get it a little bit more together, just for the parents that are listening.
Thanks, Dr. Longobardi. I should have mentioned, we're really excited. We're continuing the vaccination opportunity efforts here in the district. We're going to have the second round of vaccine for our high school Tigers on Tuesday, and we are planning for a pop-up vaccination opportunity at Highlands as well. So, and I'm sure, the folks will talk about that, but we're going to continue to try and have those opportunities for our community members as we move through into the summer months. And certainly when there's an opportunity for younger students to get vaccinated, we'll do our best to have those opportunities pop up here too. Maggie, good morning.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to also clarify and piggyback on Dr. Longobardi. Just because we have the COVID vaccines, I just want to make all parents aware that the immunization requirements have not changed. So we still have to make sure that all the immunizations that the kids need get done. Because I know because of the COVID, everyone's been kind of staying home and not immunizing their children, but we really need to make sure that all of the other childhood diseases, get taken care of by their proper immunizations. We are going to have a pop-up next week. I'm very happy about the COVID vaccines in Highlands. So I'm hoping that many parents decide to bring their kids and get vaccinated. It's going to be a wonderful thing. It's either going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to work on it today. I'm hoping to spread the word on that. So if you want your child vaccinated, please make sure you know that we're going to have a clinic next week. Other than that, we really have been just plugging away with end of year stuff with the prom, and making sure that everybody is in compliance for the graduation as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie. And for folks who are considering taking advantage of the Highlands pop-up vaccination opportunity, because of the age, there is the requirement that a parent or guardian accompany the child to get vaccinated. The key piece here is for those folks who are looking forward to participating in moving up, the moving up ceremony at the end of June for Highlands. This would negate the need to be concerned about having to get a test and do all of that work prior to coming to the moving up ceremony. So for folks who are willing and able at Highlands, that might be something that you want to be able to take advantage of next week. So there'll be more information coming out on that as well. Maggie, there was a question in the chat if you wouldn't mind to talk about the mixing of children at recess on the playgrounds and the like.
Sure. The children can mix, but it has to be outside only and with a mask on. So, you know, we're going to have to just be cognizant that they shouldn't be on top of each other or wrestling or doing stuff like that because they're little. So they do happen to do those things. But so long as they're just running around and playing, they have their masks on, we can cohort, you know, they can mix. So I'm really happy about that because it gives us a little bit of semblance of, you know, normalcy. But we don't want to mix them inside, not just yet. So the outside is good. It's 20 minutes. They're playing. It's healthy, and I think and the CDC is recommending it. So yeah.
Thanks, Maggie. That will also go to things like outdoor events. So if you know, for instance, if we're having some type of an event or an assembly for the kiddos, they're able to be outside and they're able to watch and physically distance and all that stuff. Right, Maggie? That's allowable as well.
Yep.
Great.
It certainly is.
Can I just ask one question? I'm so sorry about, I'm just wondering about contact tracing. If the children are mixed at recess, although it is outside, is that something we're not concerned about because it is outside? Can you just clarify that for me?
Yes, because it's outside, we will not have the contact trace. If it was an indoor activity, then we would have to.
Yep. So I know Mrs. Buck just put a question in. Will all schools allow, or up to the discretion of principals? Ms. Buck, I think it's going to be at all schools. I think we're going to have to look at the logistics and just make sure that in terms of running the lunches and the recesses, that everything's in place. But I don't know off the top of my head why there wouldn't be the ability to do that everywhere. Great, thank you. All right, let's move right into, where's Deb Algar? Hey, good morning, Miss Algar.
Good morning, everybody. So I just wanted to remind parents that the letters have gone out for the summer reading program, and they are due back to our offices by June 1st so that we can make sure that students are placed into appropriate groups. And we're all ready to reopen fully in person for extended school year. So we're looking forward to having all of our students back in this summer. It's hard to believe it's a year ago that we opened for some of our students. So we are moving in the right direction and are really happy to welcome the students back. In addition, piggybacking on Miss Lyons, we are expanding our ability to provide not pop-up clinics, but mental health clinics through Andrus in many of our schools. So by September, almost all of our schools will have additional clinicians and opportunities for students to receive counseling through the Andrus clinic. So that's very exciting as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deb. I know Mr. Velez is, I thought I saw Mr. There he is. Hey, good morning, Ron. Ron, I know we're sending out a survey right now for folks to participate in related to technology and SEL. Do you want to just plug that real quick so everybody knows to participate?
Yes, that would be wonderful. So we are using a company called Bright Bites Clarity. They're a national organization that surveys school districts across the country on their technology effectiveness and technology statuses. They've added this year onto their survey social emotional learning categories, some very simple questions, on mood and things of that nature. So it's very, very important if you can. Parents, students grades 3 to 12, and all teachers, if they can please fill out the survey, it'll be a great help to us in shaping some of our decision making going forward for September. So that would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Ron. And it is, just to reiterate, it is so important that everybody participate in the survey opportunities and truly share how you're feeling, how you're doing, and areas personally that you feel you could use support. All of those data are going to come back to us, and we are going to use those in our decision-making processes. So please participate and encourage others to participate as well. Ms. Algarn, go ahead.
I apologize, Dr. Ricca. I just want, because this is a community post, I just want to say that although Andrus is opening in our clinics, it doesn't mitigate the need for additional PPS staff within our building. So I just wanted to make that clear. I'm sorry.
That is a really, really good point. And that's for everyone to understand the services and supports that the clinicians from Andrus, our partners from Andrus, provide. It's separate, and it's totally different, separate and apart. And they work in conjunction collaboratively with our helping professionals and support each other as we're all working to support our kids. So that's really important. It's not a one or the other, it's a team effort there. Thanks. Where am I looking right at? Dr. Hand. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, everybody. We have all of our principals here that are on the reopen committee. I'm going to give them a minute to give an update so that we have that from each building specifically. But we've successfully navigated through New York State testing and through AP exams as well. So I just want to give a really strong shout out to the principals and the teachers and the TAs and to our coordinators for getting that all together and really trying to the best of our ability, making it as seamless and as painless as possible for our children. I want to thank Jennifer Hammond King as well, because she's our testing coordinator and gets all of our 3 through 8 ELA and math together. Thank you for clarifying the cohorting for recess, because I know that that was coming up as questions, and especially for end of the year activities. Are we allowed to cohort for end of the year activities? So Maggie, I think that, touching base, especially with the elementary principals, might be very helpful so that everybody's on the same page. I know that they've already put their plans together for their moving up ceremonies, but it might be some of the activities that the PTAs are planning that we might be able to do a little bit more cohorting in if they're outdoor activities. So we'd need your advice on that. So we can follow up after this meeting. Students are getting vaccinated in the upper grade levels. And I just want to ask the principals to really work with the teachers and realize that the vaccination definitely does not make you feel well sometimes. And, if you can't get your schoolwork done for a couple of days, just the impact that that would have on having to make that work up at this point in the school year. So there should be some flexibility for students that are getting vaccinations, and we're going to have to talk through that as well. Summer letters are going out for our summer programs. If they haven't already, they'll be going out by the end of this week or next week. Kindergarten assignment letters are going out the end of this week. Pre-K letters will be going out. We have all the placements made, so those letters will be sent out. And I would just like to turn it over to the principals just to talk a little bit about what's going on for the end of the year. Laura, do you want to start?
Sure. So we are each working on our moving up ceremonies. They're going to look slightly different in each building, depending on the campus and what capacity is in different areas, but we are all working on that and also collaborating with our PTAs to make sure that the end of year for our 5th graders really feels special and celebratory as they move up to the middle school. In terms of testing, I just want to note that we are currently still in the nicest lot testing window. It is a very long testing window for nicest lot. And so our ENL teams are meeting with students both in person, and our virtual learners are being invited to come in so that they can participate in that testing. The coordination is significant. And I just want to thank them for making sure that all of that happens seamlessly. We are waiting for our list for our incoming kindergartners so that we can begin to welcome them, and are planning for dial screening so that we have that data in terms of placement. And we will be meeting with our new families in the end of June virtually. So we will be putting something together to welcome them. And so lots of things are happening. We're closing and opening all at the same time. So lots happening on the elementary level.
Thank you, Laura. Dr. Rodriguez?
Hi, good morning, everyone. So to echo what Laura had mentioned, we are currently in NICESLAT testing. It's really important that we get this information for our kids that are still learning English. So we have invited all the students to come in to sit for the exam because the last time that we had this information was back in 4th grade. So it's really important that we capture that information now. The ELA and math testing went really well. We currently have about 75% of our kids attending in person. So it feels like a real middle school again, which is really, really nice. We are planning kind of a modified version of a field day for our kids. We thought it was really important to get them outside and get them having fun again. So those plans are in the works. We wanted to thank the PTA has been very generous in offering an ice cream truck for our kids. So that'll be coming up really soon. So that's something else we're really excited about.
Daisy, do you think that the reopening committee is going to get an invitation to the ice cream truck today?
Absolutely. And I actually didn't want to mention, I had a really nice meeting with Andres for getting counseling here at Eastview as well. So thank you, Debbie, for coordinating that. We thought it was really important getting more help for our kids and getting some clinicians to serve our kids right here at Eastview. So we think that will go a really long way. The articulation process is currently underway, being a transition building. Our counselors and PPS staff did a really nice job in meeting with all 25 5th grade teachers one-on-one and getting to know all the needs of the kids coming up. And we're getting ready to do the articulation with the 7th grade teams to make sure that the 7th grade teams have all the information they need for the kids.
Thank you. Mr. Spatafore?
Hi, good morning, everyone. So thank you, Dr. Rodriguez, because you basically gave me the checkpoints that I have to touch here. So testing, we are still in the NICESLAT window as well. Computer-based ELA and math testing went really smoothly. Our building test coordinators, Mike Eaton, and that went off without a hitch. In terms of end of year activities, this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, our 8th graders are participating in an 8th grade picnic by team. The 8th grade picnic at Highlands is a really great tradition. It's been here forever. We usually take kids up to FDR, but due to the pandemic, we, Miss Cadet and the 8th grade team leaders arranged the students in pods, and our PE teachers arranged a number of activities. So the entire teams are out for half the day playing basically games that the PE teachers have arranged. And then there's a food truck and an ice cream truck for lunch. So that's been going on this week. 7th grade, the last week of school, will have their activity, which the PTA has been very generous in providing another ice cream truck. So if you can't make it to Eastview, you can come over to Highlands and tell them you're a 7th grader. And then our Andres psychologist came in yesterday to get oriented with Highlands, the physical space of Highlands, and to talk about the student schedules and how we're going to work. So again, Ms. Algarton, thank you so much. We're going to continue that. We stopped during the pandemic. So, and our articulations continue with Eastview on the one hand and with the high school on the other. So thank you, Dr. Rodriguez and Emily Martinez. Thank you guys for being so cooperative with that.
Thanks, Ernie. Emily?
Good morning, everybody. So we have had the pleasure over the last few weeks to really start having some great outdoor events for our students. We had our talent show a few weeks ago, which was really great. Great job by Dr. Freeman Mack and and the staff that helped put it together outdoors. I know it was great seeing some of our board members there. It was really done in a great way, using the parking spaces as seating areas. So we're really excited about them. We're also grateful for the City White Plains to let us use their stage, their mobile stage. So that was really an awesome event that we had well over 150 folks safely there attending. We just recently also had the junior prom drive-through, and I saw Rena put in the chat, she had a blast. She really appreciated it. So again, kudos to the class advisors and the staff that helped, man that event. It was a great afternoon, beautiful weather. The food was amazing. That pizza was, I think we had some folks go back for seconds of that pizza. So it was really another great event. And then we also ended last Friday with a movie night for all our students. So, and that was nicely attended as well. So thank you again to all the folks that participated in those events. And it's really set the stage for how our rest of our events are going to be in terms of outdoors, safely done. We have some upcoming things. We have the Songwriter Showcase that will be held in the courtyard at the end of this week. We also are working on our actual senior prom. And again, kudos to the team who's really pushed and thought outside the box to try to make this a memorable event for our seniors. And so we'll be at the Surf Club. We have multiple spaces that we'll be using. We've been working with Mr. Bratcher to make sure that all our students have what they need for those events. We're working with Mr. Bratcher as well to start getting ready to hand out caps and gowns. So all this stuff gets me excited, right, Dr. Ricca? We know that this is some of the stuff we've been talking about since January. So the fact that it's coming to life and we're in the final, finishing touch stages is really exciting. Obviously, the biggest event is our graduation, which I know everybody has heard little bits and pieces, and we're just thrilled. The Department of Health has put, some specific guidelines that we have to follow, and we've made sure we've communicated that. And thank you, Dr. Ricca, for putting that out during your Facebook Live as well, about making sure we have all the testing requirements in place, and also all the different components we'll need to do when it comes to the contact tracing and people signing in, and making sure that we have everybody all set for that wonderful event. So that is on June 23rd. We are also planning for the rain date being the 24th. But obviously, the most important thing I'll ask parents to do and families is just to keep an eye out for any communications. We will be communicating quite a bit, as the days, as we get closer to those events, because obviously some of these things are outdoors. So we want to make sure we are, make sure everybody's aware of any changes we might have to make last minute. So that's, so that's pretty much finalized. We are getting ready to send out the letter with just making sure our families all know what our last few weeks look like. As you might be aware, the Regents exams have been reduced this year. So there's only a handful of Regents exams that are being offered. So beyond that, we're going to do some in-class assessments, which are Friday, June 11th, Monday the 14th, Tuesday the 15th, and Wednesday the 16th will be the last day of actual regular classes. The 17th is a Regents Day. But the 18th is a regular school day, which we're going to be doing some Juneteenth celebrations. So we're excited about that. We're in the process of working that out with our team. And Monday is also a regular school day, and we're excited because we're doing some really avid senior workshop day. So we have some really great workshops that are going to be offered to our seniors about college life, about finances, all the different really important things that students that are seniors going off to college can benefit from. So we're excited about all those workshops we'll be offering on that date as well. And we're also looking to do some SEL components to that day for our underclassmen. So lots of stuff going on, and we're just thrilled that it just feels like we're, school's back. And it's a great way to end the year.
Thank you, Emily. Mr. Bratcher?
Yes, good morning, everyone. News from Rochambeau. We too are still in the process with our NICET testing at this time. We're also doing task testing as well, so we're excited about that. Socially, we're coming off a successful coffee house event where students at our school were able to highlight their music and writing talents. That was a very successful program, and I want to thank also the PTA for sponsoring the treats for that event. We do have our senior celebration drive-through ceremony that will take place June 17th in the afternoon from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And once again, special thanks to the PTA for helping us sponsor some of the highlights of that. We will have some food, some music, photo booths, different stations. That's just going to really highlight our seniors who have worked hard over the past 4 years. We're excited. Our annual art show, this will be our second year that it will be virtually. It will be a virtual art show that will be coming up in a few weeks, and you'll be hearing more about that. Right now, our art teacher and our students are working really hard to put together an incredible show that will broadcast on our social media platforms. So once again, please stay tuned for more information regarding that. We are excited at Rochambeau. We will be working in partnership with Andrus this upcoming school year. And I want to thank Ms. Argarten, who's played an integral role in making sure that we didn't miss out on this opportunity as well. So special thanks to Ms. Argarten for that. And we are excited to be working in partnership with Andrus as well. Currently, right now, we're in the process of working with Highlands, putting together intake meetings at our school for the 8th grade parents that are interested in or potentially interested in having their students start right at Rochambeau in September. So we're in the early stages of that, but we're looking forward to having some 9th graders from Highlands start their career at Rochambeau that may not have been as successful at Highlands, so that we can help strengthen their skills, and with the hopes that it's someday that they will be able to attend the high school. I want to definitely give kudos to Mr. Martinez and his staff at the high school. It's been a pleasure working in partnership with them as we continue to just streamline the process of an intake process that isn't just one way, that works both ways between Rochambeau and high school to Rochambeau as well. And we are planning for the prom and other events. And I just want to thank Mr. Martinez, because like I said, it has been a pleasure. And I look forward to just continually working in partnership with him as well as the high school. So that's where we're at this time with Rochambeau. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. And then just to finalize, thank you for mentioning the NICER SLAT, because that is an amazing test to administer, and it has so many different components to it and involves so much. So thank you to Lisa Pinero for getting that together. And I don't know if Sarah's on, but thank you to Sarah too, because she's been working with the coordinators to develop curriculum for the summer program with the teachers that are teaching in the program at the secondary level. And finally, we're also collecting the summer curriculum proposal submissions that our teachers are putting together as teams. We'll review them and put them up for board approval. But moving forward, and I love how you said we're finishing, but also starting at the same time. And that's how we feel at the end of the year. So May and June are such busy months always, and they're even exceptionally busy this year.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hand, and thanks to all of our colleagues. I just want to echo Mrs. Buck, who sent a big thank you out in the chat. Enormous thank you to everybody. I mean, we are in such a different place than we were even just 4 months ago. And really just so much hard work from everyone here and all the team members throughout the district. So just a huge thank you. This is great for our kids. It's great that they're going to be getting these opportunities that previously we weren't sure we were going to be able to give to them. So really, really great stuff. And thank you all for your ongoing efforts. I also need to call out and just thank and give a big shout out to Sean Lewis, all of our security professionals throughout the district, to our SROs, Detective Brown, Officer Amron. We're so grateful for all of the support, because yes, we have COVID-19, we have the pandemic, we have all reopening, we have all these things, but we also have regular school going on too. And all of the magical things that happen in the course of a regular school day. And everybody has been tremendous in supporting each other. I have to thank Sergio and our transportation team for being flexible and really doing everything they can to accommodate our parents and guardians and kiddos. Ed Mara and everybody in food services, again, doing things completely different than we've ever done them before in order to hit these challenges. So thank you, everybody, for all of that hard work. Mr. Pepper, very different place this year than you were in HR last year at this time.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Ricca. You know, that's you just touched on it, but this is a big operation. There's a lot of moving parts here, and kudos to everybody for doing a really great job. Congratulations on the budget vote last night, and also congratulations to our incumbent board members who are reelected. We're very, very grateful for that. HR, as you might imagine, like everybody else, it's a very, very busy place. We're working on all of our new hires for next year. That includes teachers, administrators, and support staff. There's a lot of open positions that we have to fill. It's pushing somewhere between about 35 and 40 positions. That includes leave replacements and those things as well. We are working with Deb A and with Gary and Sarah and everybody finalizing our summer school appointments as well, which is it's like opening an entire school alone in addition to the regular school work that we do. There's a lot of onboarding paperwork, benefits, appointments, and associated with getting that up and running. So we're very, very busy with that. And then one other thing I just want to mention, and Dr. Ricca, I'm sure will mention this as well. May 24th, we will be recommending 25 teachers who are in probationary. The Board of Ed will be considering their recommendations for tenure. There's a lot of materials and documents associated with that as well. We've been kind of coordinating on behalf of the board and superintendent. So congratulations to those 25 individuals. And that's it.
Thanks, Mr. Pepper. We're also in the upcoming meetings toward the end, right at the end of the year, we'll be recognizing and honoring our retirees as well. So a lot of exciting things, a lot of celebrations. And by the way, you know, everybody, all you folks, everybody's earned a moment to breathe and celebrate and take that moment. You know, that's important because sometimes we just move right on to the next challenge, but take that moment and really enjoy it. We're also going to be on the 24th adding to our agenda the recognition of our scholar athletes. I can't say or overstate how grateful we are to Mr. Cameron, to our coaching staff, to our support staff members, to our nurses, to our parents and guardians, and of course to our student athletes who made athletics work. I was really fortunate I was able to be at the softball game yesterday afternoon when Coach O'Donnell had his 400th win. It was a great win over a very well coached New Rochelle team. In fact, I think it was the mercy rule that came into play. I don't know if that's the politically correct term for it, but I think it was 20-5. And the game got called. Mr. Cameron, thanks a million for everything that you've been doing. Any updates from athletics?
Thanks, Dr. Ricca. Yeah, that was great yesterday. Just a couple things we're doing at the end of the year for athletics. Next Wednesday afternoon, we'll have our, what we usually have is our senior athletic awards night. We'll have that in the afternoon. We have all of our special awards that we're going to give out to our senior athletes, and then each senior athlete gets their senior gift. We'll do that Wednesday afternoon. Like you said, the scholar athletes. And then first time ever with the middle school, we're working with the middle school on June 15th. We're going to have high school sports day at the middle school where all the 8th graders get to meet the varsity and the junior varsity coaches after school. And we're going to bring in a combine for the first time ever. We're going to speed test, agility test. So we have benchmarks for all of our incoming 8th graders. So we can work with our strength coaches on what our kids need to do and how we can help our kids perform better. So those are two big events that we have coming up, and we're working on winter sports schedules right now.
Winter sports schedule. I'll tell you what, that's really fantastic. The combine, and just sit with that for a minute. Our incoming high school student athletes are going to have the opportunity to meet all of potential varsity coaches and participate in a combine where we're going to be able to gather benchmark data related to speed and agility and strength as the children. I mean, that is just an amazing opportunity for our student athletes. Matt, thank you for doing that and coordinating it. Really, really fantastic for our kids. I would like to also move over to, where are you, Dr. Karotai? Good morning, Ann.
Morning, everyone. It really truly is remarkable and thank you to every single person in this organization and community, because when you really do reflect, it is just unbelievable all that has been accomplished and what we continue to accomplish. And smoothly, it just, continues, we just continue to find solutions and work it. So it is incredible. And all of you are just so incredible. Operations met briefly. There's, again, things are moving along. Transportation, our ridership is looking good. There's not any buses that really have any concerns. We're not, needing to add any buses at this time. Arrival and dismissal, Sean had reported out, and with the White Plains Police Department is going really well. I'll let Frank touch upon a couple of things, and then that's really it. TENS facility use in our summer projects, and let him give us a little update there. But otherwise, things are pumping along. Frank.
Thanks. Wow. Well, you already know, if you drive around, you see tents. So we got a partial delivery and they were installed. The rest of the shipment we're hoping is back ordered, and we're hoping they come in soon. We received delivery of 334 HEPA filtration systems that we're distributing through the schools now. And also we had a bid award, and we're actually changing out our filters, quarterly filter change right now with MERV 13 and 11 filters where we can on all our unit ventilators throughout the school. We also had our lead testing. The state gave us a reprieve, but we just finished our lead testing during the April break. We had some exceedance on some of the hand washing sinks. We already have signs up, and we already have replacement faucets coming in. We're going to be replacing them shortly. After school activities, as you know, things are getting back to normal. And we've had a lot of activities. Some of those activities, heavy usage on the athletic fields, because we're trying to squeeze everything in winter and fall, and winter and spring in 2 short months. So kudos, the weather has held out for us to do that. Some of the things that we've done, the city fireman's test, we have 1,200 candidates at the high school, 600 on each day, Saturday and Sunday. And that was 2 weeks ago. Last week, we had the county police test. We had 1,400 participants, 700 on Saturday, 700 on Sunday. We have a lot of activities at the school on the week, at the schools and athletic fields on the weekends. We've got a lot of complaints about trash, which we're bringing people in on Saturday just to try to take care of that. Summer is looking just as busy. GW is going to have a camp, although they're all going to be reduced and mostly outside, but we're still going to have some camps. City Rec is going to be at Ridgeway. The Youth Bureau is going to be at Eastview and Church Street. We have a few community groups. MPV basketball is one. And then we have, I guess, summer school, which is going to be at the high school. Hopefully after our electrical improvements are done. Summer projects, many of them. Just to name a few, I'm not going to go all. There's something like 34 to 40 of them right now that are going on and that we have planned for. But electrical improvements at the high school, Highlands, the window replacement in the courtyards. We're going to be sending a notice out for the teachers to start getting ready to clean up those classrooms. Exercise playground for Eastview, and ventilation system for the pool, which is ongoing right now. We're hoping to have that finished, in the next 2 weeks. Also, I wanted to just let you know that we've had various improvements in ventilation system in certain classrooms throughout the district. There's too many for me to name, but the equipment's on order, they're in place, and we're starting to install them as we get a chance to do that. And that's the end of my report. Oh, one other thing. I don't know if everybody know, but at the last board meeting, my right-hand person has put in for her retirement, Phyllis Paul. I think if it wasn't for her throughout this pandemic too and helping out, I mean, she was a real trooper, never left the building here, stayed the whole time, and was really helpful. She's going to be sorely missed, that's for sure. That's the end of my report.
Oh, thank you.
We agree. She will be sorely missed.
She will be, I agree. And so Frank, what does that mean for me now?
You're hired.
I have a space for you.
We're hiring you.
You have to pass the service test, Rosemary Aller, and then if you're on the list, and then you could become my member. We would
All
love
righty. All righty, I'll get right on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Ann. And yeah, and just so everybody knows, I did my very best to talk Phyllis out of it, but you know what? She's done a tremendous job and committed so much to our children. So Godspeed and congratulations to Phyllis, but she will absolutely be missed. Frank, thank you for everything that you're doing, and to everybody in facilities and grounds for all of your support. And yes, the fields are active. Right? The grounds are active. People are coming back out. Kids are coming out. That's great. It's all good. But we should ask, and I'm just going to be really clear about this for anybody who watches and who might want to share with somebody who needs to hear it. Please clean up after yourself. Please make sure you're using the receptacle garbage cans that are on the facilities. That's why they're there. Don't leave your garbage on our beautiful fields. You know, take a look around you when you're there. That's why you're going there. It's gorgeous. Keep it that way. Also, be mindful of the neighbors. The grounds close at sundown. The grounds close at sundown. If you're on the property, you know, after sundown, the White Plains Police Department, the Public Safety Department, they're going to ask you to leave. And it's not because they're trying to cramp your style. It's because these are in our neighborhoods, and we have to make sure we're respecting our neighbors as well. So use the grounds, enjoy the grounds, have fun, be safe, but also please respect the neighborhoods, and please respect the facilities. We want to keep everything looking as amazing as it does today.
Joe?
Yep.
This is Sheryl. If I can just add that as much as we welcome the public onto our grounds, they're not supposed to be there during school hours for security and safety reasons as well.
That's right. Thank you, Sheryl. Yes, after school, when the children are not around, that's you know, when the school children are not using the facilities. Thank you very much, Sheryl. Absolutely. I would like to ask Rosemary updates from the board.
Well, I think you've covered them all, Dr. Ricca. You know, just the overwhelming approval of the budget, the re-election of incumbents, a really admirable race run by all. I would say it's very humbling in that we in White Plains are truly a special community because we care so much. So I would say, you know, onward, and we're going to move forward to address all the needs of our children, our staff. You know, it's not going to be easy, right? The impacts of this year, you know, will last, you know, after, you know, next year and the following. But I do believe that we will rise to every occasion. Of course, none of this would be possible without our amazing staff, you know, just everyone that really pitched in to do whatever it was. We can all say we did our job, but we all know that there were things we had to do that were above and beyond. So it is really with humbling and heartfelt thanks that I do add thanks and know that we will be successful, and with deep appreciation on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Rosemary. And I also want to thank Rosemary for reminding me, for parents and guardians who are watching, children who are watching, who are full remote learners. Please remember, for end of the year activities, fun events, those types of things, if you want to participate in those, if you want to be part of that, please reach out to your teacher, please reach out to your principal and connect with them. We know that there are certain situations at home where children cannot come back in right now into the facilities, but many, if not every one of these events that are taking place are outdoor activities. So if that's a possibility for you or an option for you, it's certainly an option and a possibility for us here in the school district. Please make sure you're reaching out if you want to be able to participate, if you're willing and able to participate. Questions, comments, concerns? Any last minute, go to the order items.
And just a big thank you for the approval of the playground for Eastview. It's a big deal for our 11 and 12-year-olds to have a space where they can run around and have fun. So I wanted to just thank everyone for making that happen for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be great.
Dr. Rick, I do have a question.
Sure thing.
Do we anticipate COVID-19 being one of the immunizations that will be mandatory for September?
We've not heard that. Great question. Thanks, Mr. Bratcher. We have not heard any requirements for COVID-19 vaccination to re-enter school in September. And if that is something that comes down, that will be coming, and I'm sure we'll hear about it early from the state level. I would anticipate right now, no, that there's not going to be a requirement based on what I'm hearing and based on the fact that the vaccine right now is still operating or being administered under an emergency approval. The emergency approval will likely on the Pfizer vaccine be lifted, I think Pfizer first, but that's going to be coming throughout the summer. So I don't know if that does become a requirement in the future, but I'm not sure that it would be in place for September.
Thank you.
You bet.
Dr. Ricca, can I just mention one other thing before we close out? So for those of you who are not aware, and of course, you know, I do plan on mentioning this at our next Board of Education meeting. Dr. Ricca did receive Distinguished Service Award from the Lower Hudson Council of Superintendents, and it was his service, commitment, and support to public education, how he stands by action, public written statements for the betterment of educational opportunities of children, and his overall interest in welfare of children and support of local, state, and national education organizations. Just wanted to let you all know that Dr. Ricca did receive this award, and on behalf of the board, we do congratulate you, and I wanted to announce it in this forum, and we will as well mention this again at our next board meeting. So congratulations to you, Dr. Ricca.
Thank you, Rosemary. My face is redder than normal, but thank you so much for that acknowledgement. I really appreciate it, and it's an honor and truly humbled to have received that. And when I looked over the list of previous recipients, I got the chills because Carol Johnson is on that list. And we all know Carol Johnson was superintendent in the White Plains City School District. He was partially responsible in working toward desegregation in the school district, and was a huge advocate for equity and access for all children everywhere. So to be on the same list with Carol is something else, but I really appreciate it. Thanks, Rosemary. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. You're going to get that invitation from me for the stakeholder group that's going to be coming today. Keep an eye out in your inbox for it. It'll be after the Memorial Day holiday. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather. See you soon.
Bye.